Alright, now we are streaming on at least one site. There we go. Hey, everybody. Sorry for the delay. I was about to stream, and then somebody here walked across the mouse pad and managed to knock me right offline. The knife. There we are then. Okay. Hey, Todd. Hey, Kathleen, Karen, Terry. Hey, Katie, Luann, Martin. Hey, Nancy and Christine. Hey, Kathleen. Miles. Yeah. Hey, Julius. Dina and Timothy. Had to come home early today so I could wait for a package to come. Yeah. Had to wait on some subway tickets to come. There. Hey, everybody. Hey, Beth. Hey, Lynn. Hey, all and sundry. Miles. Miles, you know we've talked about helping versus not helping? What you're doing right here, this is not helping.
Yeah, Earl Father Hines carries on now and presents Leroy Harris to sing Teacher's Pet.
Give it just a quick moment here before we move on. I'll show you guys what I have found yesterday. I spent yesterday in the microfilm room, found some really cool stuff. Most of which is for tomorrow, but also, of course, I found some other stuff while I was at it. But alright, everybody, welcome along. Look at the protest today, Mom. I cast my first proxy vote yesterday at a shareholder meeting. I've had a little bit of Apple stock for years that I've just been sitting on. But yesterday they had the shareholder meeting where they were going to vote as to whether to... There was a motion to discontinue DEI initiatives. And it was defeated 97-3. Well, all right, everybody. That'll be enough from Earl Father Hines right there. Oh, hey, look at this. Priya just got up here. Hey, Priya. How you doing? You always want to go where Miles is. And we're just going to take a second and enjoy this unusual turn of events of Priya hopping up here. I don't know if she's ever hopped up to be on the show like that. So, all right, everybody, welcome along. I'm Adam for Mysterious Chicago Tours. So, as most of you know by now, I hope tomorrow we are going to be doing a benefit. The Thursday night tour will be a benefit for the Snellville Performing Arts Center. That's where my nephew performs down in Snellville. I'll be going on WCPT 8:20 a.m. today to talk it up as well. I've been having a great time researching this one, too. It's all going to be, like, very early Chicago theater stuff up to about the turn of the 20th century. But, of course, in the process, at the microfilm room, I found stuff that doesn't necessarily fit in. Also, I found, like, letters from Junius Booth, John Wilkes' father. I'm, like, just holding him in my hands. I can't believe they just let me hold these things in my hands sometimes. So... just digging through here. Here's from 1851. I just thought this was interesting. An ad for the Skylight Daguerrean Gallery. I wonder if this is the place where a few years later you could buy pictures of George W. Green, the murderer who had hanged himself in the prison. I know they were selling copies of pictures of the dead body at the Daguerrean Saloon. That was at like Randolph and LaSalle. This one, I guess, is on Lake Street, so probably not the same. How many Daguerrean Saloons do we have around here? Going back to 1834. 1834 was Chicago's first known theatrical performance, but other things I found around that, there's this letter to the editor, to the Chicago Democrat, remarking on the condition of the graveyard. Now, this would have been the early graveyard that's right about where the water tower is now, down in the Magnificent Mile, right where the lake meets Chicago Avenue. And he noted that shouldn't we do something about the removal of the coffins projecting from the bank of the lake and the enclosing of the burial ground belonging to this town? The present situation of the graveyard is appalling to human nature. On landing to our shore, the eye of the visitor is immediately arrested by the appearance of coffins in the situation as above described, which leads him to conclude that he is out of humanity's reach, for he justly infers that if we have no respect for the dead, surely we have none for the living. So interesting situation in 1834 when you sail up to Chicago, the first thing you see is coffins jutting out of the sand in the beach. I have not really seen that one before. Wow. You find some really interesting stuff in the old 1830s papers. This goes back before the stuff that you can find online. Like here's an ad for Philo Carpenter's drugstore. Drugs and medicines. Philo Carpenter, Chicago, Illinois, will keep constantly on hand a generous assortment of drugs and medicines, oils, paints, dye stuffs, and see also dry groceries, glass, nails, etc. You might remember Philo Carpenter, our first apothecary from the Underground Railroad tours. He was a big Underground Railroad guy, in addition to being our first pharmacist. Also, I love this. Hoosiers, Wolverines, and Suckers, behold. That's people from Indiana, people from Michigan, and people from Illinois, which at the time was known as the Sucker State. You can find multiple explanations as to how we got that name. Generally, it's the most agreed upon one is that people would come up to Galena to work in the summer, then down when the summer ended, like the migratory pattern of suckerfish in the Mississippi River. Susan, shawls may not be available, but wait till you see this. Well, let's just read this. The subscribers respectively tender to their above-named friends, Hoosiers, Wolverines, and Suckers, and to his liberal patrons, the Potawatomis, their sincere thanks for past favors, and informs them that they have on hand at their Man Trap, one door north of Mr. R.A. Kinsey's store, a constant supply of fresh bread, cakes, pastry, etc., and also liquors of every description, which they will sell at reduced prices, and his friends can come and get tired for nothing. Come and get tired for nothing. Huh. Also, butter! Butter! More flour. There's a lot of stuff like this. Like over on the side of this one, you can see they're selling whiskey, sperm whale oil, nails, muskrat skins, raccoon skins. I've been thinking we needed some more muskrat skins around here. 12 kegs of blasting powder and flour. Flour! Then an ad for Jim Collins, the attorney, who is also a fixture of Underground Railroad tours. But even better than that, there is also an ad for the day in 1834 when Fat Albert arrived in Chicago. Hey, hey, hey! Or the first polka band. Hey, hey, hey! And I love the ad, too, for sale, a quantity of good hay in large or small quantities, 6 miles from Chicago. Inquire of William Taylor, 3 miles south of this town, or of B. Jones. Now, there's no address here. There's no detailed directions. You just have to head 3 miles south and wander around until you find William Taylor. Or if you just happen to know where B. Jones is. This is the thing. Chicago in 1834 had like 2,000-3,000 people living in it. You probably knew where these guys were. Wondering where all the sperm whale oil had gone. Well, commercial whaling has been globally outlawed since 1987. Hey, 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 goodbye. All right. The same newspaper that had the Chicago's first theatrical ad also contained a letter from Davy Crockett. And also Newberry and Dole, forwarding and commissioning merchants. This, I assume, is Walter Loomis Newberry, the guy who shows up often on the Graceland Cemetery tours, for having been died at sea and being preserved in a barrel of rum. Here he is. They have just received an assortment of dry goods, hardware, and groceries, which they will sell low for cash. Also, they're buying fur pelts, beeswax, and tallow. But were they selling barrels? Were they selling barrels of rum? Really, a lot of these places were just probably selling whatever they had on hand. Right up above, we've also got Mr. Elston is selling highly flavored hams, fletches of bacon, mess, and prime pork. Acquaint the public, they have fed up a smokehouse. Once again, you just kind of have to know where Mr. Elston is. And yes, Sullivan, this is Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. Apparently a book had come out about his life adventures and eccentricities. And he said that wasn't really all that accurate. Instead, he was going to be writing his own book, and shall strive to represent myself as I really am, a plain, blustered Western man, relying on Western man. A mountaintop in Tennessee is not Western. And shall strive to represent myself as I really am, a plain, bluish Western man relying on honesty and not on learning and law for a living. I am hopeful the work will be ready for the press before the close of the present session of Congress. It shall not be delayed a moment longer than is indispensable from public engagements. The public's most obedient servant, Davy Crockett, King of the Wild Frontier. All right then, Davy. Now, historians are kind of unsure whether Davy Crockett was really just kind of an idiot, or just kind of played an idiot as part of his image. I kind of lean towards the former myself. There's a great line that he did claim to have killed an awful lot of bears, like hundreds of bears. Supposedly one person replied that he believed Davy Crockett had killed a lot of bears, but not that he could count up to the hundreds. Later on, after he was voted out, he said, "You may all go to hell and I will go to Texas." In the end, he did both. So, all right, everybody. So, those are just some of the things that I found while digging around. Let me show you one other quick one while I'm at it. Let's see. There's another one that I wanted to show off here, but I didn't really, I didn't do a good enough job of... Well, there was a stack of letters to Will Davis. Not really to Davis. I think they were just letters he came into possession of. But one of them is this. J.B. Booth. That's Junius Brutus Booth, who appeared in Chicago in 1848 and was the father of Edwin and John Wilkes. Now, this is written in really remarkably good handwriting, so it must be that very narrow window of time when he was sober, which he generally was not. But all right, everybody, so that's just some of what I found yesterday while putting together stuff. I found a lot of good theatrical stuff, too. For tomorrow's show, which is going to be all about Chicago's theatrical history and a benefit for the Snellville Performing Arts Center, you can see all of the links right here. There's going to be performances from kids associated with it. There's going to be all kinds of cool stuff with this one. It's going to be a good one. I'm going to go plug it on WCPT later at 5 o'clock. Thanks a lot for joining me, everybody. I will see you all tomorrow for another morning mini tour. And until then, stay safe, stay strong, and of course, if you can, if quite convenient, make sure you stay spooky, everybody.